If your home has these signs, don't sell it, because the longer you live there, the richer you'll become. I know that might spark your curiosity or even sound unbelievable. But the truth is, there are many hidden mysteries you've never fully known, or perhaps no one has ever told you. Just imagine this. One morning you wake up, step outside your front door, and see a group of children laughing, chasing each other, and playing right in front of your house. No one invited them, there's no special reason yet. Somehow they keep coming back day after day. Or maybe it's something as simple as the warm sunlight that always pours into your home, or the way birds seem to love perching on your roof. What if I told you that these simple, innocent scenes could be the universe's way of whispering, "You're living on blessed land"? In Feng Shui, in Buddhist thought, and even in the silent language of nature, there are signs, subtle yet powerful, that your home is not just a shelter, but a magnet for prosperity, harmony, and invisible protection. Today I'm going to take you on a journey to uncover these signs, but we'll go deeper than most other videos you've seen. We won't just explore ancient Feng Shui principles, we'll also dive into spiritual truths the Buddha once taught about the invisible web of causes and conditions that make a place truly thrive. And we'll do it through vivid stories and timeless lessons you can carry with you for life. So I suggest you find a quiet place and watch until the very end, because if you recognize even one of these signs, it could change the way you see your home, your luck, and even your future. Before we begin, take a moment to give this video a like and drop a comment below saying "My home is a magnet for positive energy," or share any other blessing you wish to call into your life. May your wishes come true soon. Now, let's begin with the very first positive sign for your home. Sometimes the signs of prosperity are not written in gold letters, but painted in the everyday scenes we barely notice. Take, for instance, the laughter of children spilling into your front yard. In Feng Shui, children are living compasses for pure, vibrant energy. They have not yet been dulled by the grind of worry or clouded by the burdens of adulthood. A child can sense the chi of a place almost instantly, no words, no analysis, just an instinctive recognition of safety and joy. When children naturally gather at your doorstep, it is rarely by accident. It means the space radiates warmth, vitality, and an unspoken welcome. The yang energy flows freely, unblocked by heavy, stagnant yin. The air is light, the atmosphere unthreatening. Life itself feels invited to settle here. Buddhism explains this in another way. According to the law of paticca samuppada, dependent origination, nothing arises without a web of causes and conditions. A home that echoes with laughter is not lucky in the random sense. That warmth is the fruit of seeds, sown long before the kindness of those who live there, harmonious interactions over years, and perhaps the return of merit from good deeds in the past, flowing back in subtle yet unmistakable forms. Once in a quiet village there stood a small weathered house. Its paint was peeling, its gate half broken. And yet every afternoon, the yard overflowed with children spinning tops, chasing balls, laughing until the sun dipped behind the hills. The owner, an elderly woman named Mai, had little money but a heart as generous as the summer rain. She never shooed the children away. Instead, she kept a clay jar of water outside for them to drink sometimes, offering a handful of roasted peanuts. One day, a wealthy merchant passed through looking for land to open a shop. He saw the children playing and asked a villager, "Why are they always here?" The answer was simple: because here they feel happy, they feel safe. The merchant studied the humble yard, then smiled. Where children gather, customers will gather too. Years later, every shop built on that plot prospered for decades. The yard, once poor in silver and gold, became rich in blessings, its true treasure, the joyful energy it had quietly gathered all along. Prosperity, then, is not only measured in currency, but in the life force a place can attract. If even the purest, most unguarded beings, children, choose to linger near your home, it is a living testament that your space is in harmony with abundance. To keep this alive, maintain a friendly, welcoming area. Avoid harsh arguments or clutter that drains energy. Even small acts, a pot of flowers, a bench by the gate, can send a clear signal to the universe. This is a place of warmth and vitality. And sometimes the messengers of that vitality arrive on wings rather than tiny feet. You might be sipping tea one morning when a melody drifts in from outside, a sparrow perched on your fence, tilting its head and singing as though offering a greeting. Many would dismiss it as a charming scene and nothing more. But in the language of Feng Shui and echoed in the teachings of the Buddha, such visits can be nature's quiet way of telling you that your home is a sanctuary of healthy energy, inviting life and fortune to come closer. Birds in Feng Shui symbolize free-flowing qi and an abundance of vitality. They choose environments with balanced energies, no harsh disruptions, ample food sources, and a sense of safety and open space. A home that regularly hosts these feathered guests exists in a zone where yin and yang are in harmony, yang strong enough for vibrant life, yin gentle enough to allow rest and peace. In Buddhist thought, birds are not mere creatures of the air, but sattva, living beings sharing this world with us. The Buddha once said that where compassion pervades not only humans, but all beings sense it. If you cultivate joy and refrain from harm, that wholesome karma radiates into your surroundings. Over time, it turns the environment into a refuge, welcoming life from the smallest sparrow to the swiftest swallow. There is a story told of a woodworker who lived at the edge of a village. Each morning, he would open his shop, sweep the floor, and place a small bowl of rice on the porch for the sparrows. At first, only a few came, but soon magpies, warblers, and bulbuls joined them. Villagers mocked him. "You waste your time. Birds bring no profit." One year, a fierce storm swept through tearing tiles from roofs and flattening trees. Strangely, the woodworker's home remained untouched. When asked why, he only smiled. "Perhaps my roof has grown accustomed to their morning songs, and so the sky decided to spare it." From then on, people began to understand a place beloved by birds is a place sheltered by nature itself. Birds do not consult compasses or read manuals on Feng Shui, yet their instincts measure energy more accurately than any tool. If they choose your home, they are giving you a living certificate of vibrant qi. To invite them, plant flowers or fruit trees, or place a small water basin in your yard. But above all, keep your heart calm and compassionate, for that is the true music that calls life to your doorstep. And when life answers, it comes not only in song, but also in green. Look closely at the plants around your home. If their leaves are lush, their flowers bloom in season, their fruit hangs heavy, and pests rarely trouble them, you are witnessing more than a gardener's skill. In Feng Shui, such thriving greenery is one of the clearest signs of prosperous energy at work. Plants are natural filters of qi. When they thrive, it means the soil and air are rich with life force. This points to strong underground energy channels unblocked by dead points or harmful currents. Conversely, if plants around a home wither unexpectedly or fall prey to disease, it may signal stagnant or hostile energies in the land. Buddhism views plants as threads in the great web of dependent origination, pratityasamutpada. A tree cannot live without the harmony of earth, water, light, wind, and the care of human hands. When all conditions align, it flourishes. In the same way, a home thrives when its inhabitants cultivate kindness, maintain harmony, and build merit. Then, the environment itself blossoms both literally and figuratively. There is an old tale of two houses standing opposite each other in a mountain village. One belonged to a wealthy family, but quarrels echoed through its halls day and night. The other housed a poor farming family, yet laughter and songs spilled from its windows. Both had a plum tree at their gates. The wealthy family's tree, though, given expensive fertilizer, lost its leaves to pests each year. The poor family's tree tended only with water from the well bloomed in golden splendor every spring. An elder of the village explained, "A tree chooses where to live well. It needs good soil, yes, but also good air and the sound of joy." Eventually, the wealthy household understood to make a tree thrive, you must first water the earth with human warmth. Healthy plants mirror the merit of their keepers. Keep your garden tidy, clear fallen leaves, and give it fresh water. More importantly, nurture harmony within your home, for that energy will seep into the soil, the roots, and the very air around you. There are homes where you walk in and immediately feel your chest open, your breath deepen, as though you've stepped into a place that's not just walls and furniture, but a living being that greets you with warmth. Often, without realizing it, we're responding to something as simple yet profound as sunlight. Natural light has a way of revealing the truth of a space. In Feng Shui, sunlight is the purest source of yang energy, a current of life that brings warmth, vibrancy, and growth. When a home is bathed in it, shadows lose their grip, dampness has no foothold, and stagnant energy dissolves as if chased away by a benevolent force. Conversely, a home starved of light becomes heavy with yin, not the soft and restful yin of a quiet night, but the kind that breeds inertia, melancholy, and a creeping unease. The Buddha often likened wisdom to light. Just as dawn disperses the darkness without struggle, insight dissolves ignorance without force. A bright home mirrors a bright mind it welcomes. Goodness resists intrusion from harmful thoughts and radiates a sense of openness. There was once a man who, fearful that sunlight might fade, the colors of his furnishings kept his curtains drawn day after day. Over time, the air turned musty, the walls dampened, and his own health waned. One afternoon, a wandering monk stopped by, sensing the gloom that clung to the place. "You are protecting your belongings," the monk observed gently, "but losing your vitality." The man hesitated, then slowly pulled back the curtains. Warm golden beams spilled across the floor, and with them came a breath of freshness he had forgotten existed. In the weeks that followed, the musty smell faded, his body grew stronger, and his mind lighter. He had not merely opened a window, he had opened a channel for life to re-enter. When we invite sunlight into our homes, we are in truth inviting clarity, health, and joy into our lives. Let the morning rays sweep across your floors. Let them touch your walls without fear. In doing so, you allow not just your space, but your spirit to breathe. And when light finds its way, in life follows. Sometimes it flows in the most literal form, water glinting under that same sun, meandering through a nearby stream, or rippling in the expanse of a clean lake. Humans have always gravitated to such places, not merely for survival, but because in Feng Shui, water carries qi, the very breath of fortune. Flowing water brings a rhythm of abundance like income, arriving in steady waves rather than erratic bursts. The ancients would speak of water as the blood of the earth nourishing wherever it passes. But its quality matters. A stream that runs clear and gentle is a sign of wealth that is both healthy and enduring. Stagnant or polluted water, on the other hand, is like a blocked artery. It foretells stagnation, illness, and misfortune. In Buddhist teachings, water is the symbol of a calm, undefiled mind. When the surface is still and pure, it reflects the moon and stars with perfect clarity. To live near clean flowing water is not only a gift to the body, cooling summers and easing the land, it is also a daily reminder to keep the mind unclouded by greed, anger, or delusion. There was once a village whose lifeline was a crystal clear brook. Every family took turns tending its banks, removing leaves and debris, ensuring its flow remained unspoiled. Children played along its edges, fish darted through its shallows, and the water sang to the rhythm of the seasons. One year, a careless traveler dumped waste into it, and within days the brook turned murky, the fish disappeared, and the laughter faded from its banks. Alarmed, the villagers worked tirelessly to cleanse it, and only after a month did the water return to its natural clarity. An elder, watching the brook sparkle again, said softly, "A clean stream is a blessing, but only if we keep it so. Lose it, and fortune drifts away, as surely as water flows downhill. If you are fortunate enough to live where water moves nearby, guard it as you would your own health. Plant trees along the bank to filter the air and anchor the soil. Keep it free of waste. Within your own home, protect your stored water, for in the eyes of Feng Shui, your well cistern, or even a humble rain barrel, is a treasure chest of vitality." Sometimes, though, the clearest sign of a home's harmony doesn't come from the sparkle of water, but from the silent trust of a living creature. One morning, a butterfly might alight on your shoulder and linger, or a stray cat may saunter into your yard and curl up in the sun unafraid. And the wild animals approach only where they feel safe. In Feng Shui, this is a direct reflection of balanced, life-giving energy. Wild animals are sensitive instruments attuned to subtle shifts in the environment that humans often overlook. They avoid places where chaos, violence, or killing energy is present, A yard that regularly welcomes birds, butterflies, or even small mammals is one where the qi flows gently free of toxic currents. Buddhism teaches that all beings, human or not, share the same essence of life. The presence of compassion can be felt across species without the need for words. Stories abound of monks deep in meditation in forest hermitages, surrounded not by fear but by curious deer, resting tigers, or playful monkeys. The animals, sensing no threat, draw near as though in the presence of an old friend. There is a tale of a humble woodcutter who made his living in a dense forest. One rainy afternoon, he found a young deer shivering under a tree. Without hesitation, he lifted it into his shelter, drying its fur by the fire. The deer left at dawn, yet from that day forward, whenever the woodcutter ventured into the forest, he would see the same deer grazing nearby its companions, joining without fear. "They trust you," the villagers said. But the woodcutter would only smile. "I merely offered them safety. The rest is the language of the heart." When animals cross the invisible boundary between their world and ours without fear, they are answering a silent invitation, a harmony of place and spirit that cannot be faked. To encourage this, keep the surroundings calm and free from sudden disturbances. Leave a bowl of fresh water in summer or a scattering of seeds for the birds in winter. Such gestures, small as they seem, weave threads of connection that strengthen the web of life surrounding your home. And as with sunlight, water, and the presence of gentle creatures, each of these signs does more than decorate the edges of life. They are living mirrors reflecting the quality of the energy we cultivate both within our walls and within ourselves. Sometimes, the truest measure of a home's fortune is not in its architecture or its furniture, but in the way people treat each other around it. Imagine stepping outside your door in the morning and being greeted by a warm smile from the neighbor across the street. Maybe they hand you a basket of mangoes from their tree, or offer to keep an eye on your house while you're away. In the language of Feng Shui, that's not just kindness, it's Ren. A human harmony, one of the three golden pillars alongside heavenly timing and earthly advantage. Harmonious relationships with neighbors are like invisible walls of protection. They steady the flow of energy in your environment. Conflict sends sharp, cutting vibrations through the neighborhood, what Feng Shui calls Shaqi, while kindness opens pathways for good fortune to move freely. It's no accident that in communities where neighbors share meals, lend tools, and check in on each other, residents often feel safer, sleep better, and even prosper more steadily. Buddhist teachings echo this truth. Living in harmony with those around you is one of the 7 noble treasures, not gold or silver, but treasures of the spirit that make life truly rich. Your block, your street, your small neighborhood is like a miniature sangha, a spiritual community. If there is warmth there, you are walking daily in an environment charged with virtue. There's an old story told in a small riverside town. 2 families shared a boundary wall. One day, a crack appeared down the middle. Instead of arguing over whose responsibility it was, they decided to repair it together. As they patched the wall, they talked, laughed, and discovered they shared the same love for gardening. Years later, they were trading vegetables over that same wall, now covered in flowering vines. An elderly passerby once remarked, "This wall holds more than bricks, it holds friendship. That's the kind of wall you want to live beside." And perhaps it's no surprise that where there is human warmth, the very air seems different. Step outside such a home and draw a deep breath, the kind that fills your lungs with freshness instead of heaviness. You might notice the breeze carries the scent of flowers or the crispness of early morning dew. In Feng Shui, wind is the messenger of qi. Gentle, clean breezes bring vitality, circulate good energy, and keep stagnation at bay. Not all wind is beneficial, of course. Too strong, and it scatters blessings before they can settle. Too weak, and the air grows stale. But when your home is positioned to welcome the right kind of airflow, perhaps through open courtyards, well-placed windows, or the shelter of nearby trees, it is like living in a perpetual conversation with nature, one that refreshes you daily. Buddhist practice has always understood the sacred role of air and breath. Every meditation begins there, inhale, exhale, and in that rhythm, the mind steadies. Fresh, clean air doesn't just feed the lungs, it nurtures the spirit. Villagers in a mountain hamlet once shared their secret for longevity. The wind here, they said with a knowing smile, is a gift from the forest. We live in a way that the forest still wants to send it. And yet the most important sign of all is something no neighbor can give and no breeze can carry. It is the feeling you get the moment you step across your own threshold. Does your chest loosen? Do your shoulders drop? Does your mind quiet down? That sensation, the unshakable ease of being home, is the ultimate proof that your dwelling is in harmony with you. Feng Shui masters will tell you the true art is not in the lucky coins or the perfectly placed mirrors, but in creating a space whose energy and yours resonate like two notes in the same chord. When that happens, you feel nourished simply by being there. It's not about the size of the rooms or the style of the furniture, but about how the space holds you the way a good friend listens without judgment. Buddhism reminds us that the highest home is the mind itself. When the mind rests in peace, anywhere is home. But there is a rare blessing in having a physical place that encourages that peace, a room that welcomes your tired steps walls, that seem to embrace you instead of pressing in, a silence that soothes instead of isolating. There's an old tale of a traveler who wandered for years, never satisfied with the places he visited. One afternoon, weary from walking, he stumbled upon a small house beside a stream. The owner invited him in and poured him a cup of tea. As the warm steam rose, the traveler felt something inside him unclench, as if a burden he had carried for decades had quietly slipped away. He stayed for hours, not because the house was grand, but because it felt like a place where his spirit could rest. It's not the walls, he later said. It's what happens to your heart when you're within them. That is the final and most precious sign. For all the talk of water and wind, sunlight and songbirds, it comes down to this: if your home is a place you long to return to, a place where your mind exhales, then you have already found a treasure beyond measure. And in caring for that space with tidiness, warmth, and love, you are tending the very key that makes every other sign possible. You see, from the laughter of children playing at your doorstep to the clear stream flowing by your house to the gentle breeze or the sparrow visiting your yard. These are all signs that the universe, nature, and the subtle principles of Feng Shui and Buddhist wisdom are quietly whispering to you. This place is blessed. Cherish it and take care of it. A house is not merely a place to sleep, it is a mirror reflecting the energy of the people who live within it. If you love it, care for it, and keep it clean and peaceful, it will become a true nest that nourishes you both materially and spiritually. The Buddha once taught, "When the mind is at peace, the surroundings are at peace. When you cultivate kindness, live with integrity, and plant good seeds every day, that energy will radiate outward, seeping into every brick and roof tile. And one day you'll realize that the signs of good fortune are not mere coincidences. They are the harvest of what you have sown all along. So don't wait for luck to fall into your lap. Begin with yourself, with how you treat your family, your neighbors, and your environment. Let your home be more than a shelter. Let it be a beacon that radiates warmth, inviting blessings to come. And when someone asks, what's the secret that makes this place so peaceful and full of luck, you can smile, place a hand on your heart, gesture toward your home, and say, because we built it together with love."